Wyoming Seminary held a tribute ceremony to remember December 7, 1941, the day the United States was bombed by the Japanese. In their We Remember Pearl Harbor ceremony, people read the names of the fallen, and people also remembered stories from Pearl Harbor. One of those people was former Congressman Jim Nelligan. He was a congressman in the 80s for one term.
A date that will live in infamy. On December the 8th, before an emergency joint session of Congress, they were the unforgettable, if not immortal words of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Opened the door, and the house was dark and quiet. I thought, why? Why is it dark and quiet? And I heard the radio in the living room. And I walked in, and my dad was sitting there, ashen-faced, gray. My mother whimpering a bit. And my dad said, the Japanese had just bombed Pearl Harbor. Well, this was upsetting to a 12-year-old, because I thought, what is going to happen in my life? What is going to happen to my family?
Another woman spoke about her husband and his involvement in World War II. She brought photos and memorabilia from his time in the Marines.
When he came home, he didn't talk about anything in the service until 1982. It was already 3 years after, and we had already been married 30 years. Never heard a word except an occasional funny thing that would happen. But all the men who were in the service were wives and said the same thing. None of them talked. So we began to go to reunions in 1980. And once he started there, he opened up. I had him on a tape recorder talking about some of the things. Everything was funny. It was not serious. He loved his job and would love to have been a Marine. But he left the service in November of 1945. And I met him that year. It took 5 years before we married.
This is Jackie Lucas reporting for TimesLeader.com.